Indian democracy had a historic session when Prime Minister Narendra Modi presented the Women's Reservation Bill in the new Parliament building amidst much fanfare. In his first speech in the new Parliament, he said the Nari Shakti Vandan Bill will empower our democracy. We have been discussing and debating the Women's Reservation Bill for years. During Atal Bihari Vajpayee's tenure, we tried passing this bill several times but failed because of lack of numbers, he said. But before everyone gets excited, it needs to be remembered that the Women's Reservation Bill, which will provide 33% reservation for women in the Lok Sabha and state assemblies, will only come into effect after the next delimitation exercise, which is expected to be conducted after 2026. The government said a women's reservation bill aimed at enabling greater participation of women in policy making at state and national levels. The statement of purpose of the bill said the role of women is extremely important for achieving the goal of India becoming a developed country in 2047. Women's reservation will come into effect after delimitation exercise is undertaken and will continue for 15 years. Seats reserved for women will be rotated after each delimitation exercise, the bill said. The government said the bill is aimed at enabling greater participation of women in policy making at state and national levels. The proposed bill had been pending for nearly 27 years, with the last concrete action being its passing in the Rajya Sabha in 2010. Here are the key provisions of the Women's Reservation Bill. The bill seeks to reserve 33% seats for women in Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies and Delhi Assembly. The quota won't apply to Rajya Sabha or state legislative councils. From the said quota, 1/3 shall be reserved for women from the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Reservation of seats shall come into effect after delimitation is undertaken after the relevant figures for the first census have been published. Rotation of the seats reserved for women in Lok Sabha and state assemblies shall take place after each subsequent exercise of delimitation. No two women MPs will be allowed to contest one seat. The bill excludes reservations for women from the OBC category. This essentially means that the reservation for women is to be implemented after an exercise of delimitation is undertaken based on the figures of the first census after this constitutional amendment. This is Mandira and you're watching India Today SoSouth.